Welcome, Chris. I am so glad you're here with us today. Since Chris has taken the helm of GPAC, his strategic data-driven approach is giving all of us confidence during challenging times. So I leave it to you to close us out on the importance of investing in the New Economy Initiative and our innovation ecosystem, Chris.
Great. Thank you, Mia. Can you hear me okay? All right. Thank you very much for moderating today and facilitating this really important conversation. I love what Jim said about the math. It's really about the math. It's about growing the pie, which is our economy and our state. And there's no question that the historical arms race of sorts from the 70s, we're now in this talent race and innovation race in places like Atlanta with Georgia Tech and Dallas and Austin. And these other markets are doubling down in this innovation, applied research, engineering capacity. And so, I just don't want us as leaders in this state to take for granted that the last 10 years of economic growth, which has led to much more economic diversification. As somebody who studies markets for a living, I've seen the slide like St. Louis in the early 1900s, which was the gateway to the West. You see Detroit in the automotive sector and its inability to reinvent itself after the Rust Belt collapse tied to automotive. And so while we have this picture in time of massive stickiness in terms of people wanting to move here and growth and, obviously advancing universities, we can't take that for granted. And so again, yes, it's about the math. Yes, it's about growing the pie in a diversified way so that we're bringing more knowledge workers in the state, but also grooming our own IP. All of these factions play into our ability to compete on the global scale. And I was excited to hear from TSMC's technology leader. That unequivocally is going to be a very paramount investment, much like when Intel came here in 1979. These play on each other and really crystallize not only Metro Phoenix, but the state as a major player in the global semiconductor sector. So one thing I just want to reinforce to close this out, every market is evaluating its fragility. And from a fragility perspective, it's whether or not you're able to sustain the needs of the changing digital economy and putting a region in a position to access the quality and the quality labor, the modern infrastructure, and creating the pipelines of tomorrow. So the New Economy Initiative, Mia, in my mind, it's unequivocally something we must do. We must make this investment because, again, it's not a theoretical argument, as Jim alluded to. It's about the math. It's about these kind of investments which nurture getting innovators into the labs, getting large companies, their engineering talent aligned with our university capacity, and put us on this national class stage that not only will fortify our ability to recruit the best and brightest globally, but arguably will be able to ensure that our local companies that were born and bred here can actually get to scale. And that's something also I would have argued in talking with Jeff Winiger and others over the years, is that we don't want to be a place that just starts companies and then they go get their capital elsewhere and then leave the market. We want a place that grooms ideas, takes these ideas to scale, creates the next generation of wealth, and all of that's here. And we export those ideas and technologies to the world. And I think we should accept nothing less than that. And so I think we're at that unique pivotal point where we should take this on. And it's incumbent upon certainly the private sector leaders in this community, but also the legislature, which again, I would echo Jim's sentiments. I mean, I've seen a very intentional approach under Governor Ducey and certainly the Commerce Authority leadership. I look at where we've been from the 2008 recession to where we are today, and the fact that we're seeing reduced percentages in our unemployment rate. You're seeing a likely recovery that will hit in Q3 this year in terms of full jobs recovery. And then and beyond, we're seeing, the pie growing. But again, I want to see us build these national class status university systems with our public universities that enable us to compete for this ever-changing type of company, whether it's fintech, blockchain, any of these multidisciplinary engineering roles. All of these are absolutely critical for us to continue to expand the base. In addition, the New Economy Initiative, it has all the bells and whistles of engineering and certainly applied research, but embedded within that, it's also focused on the next generation of teachers and teaching capacity for this ever-changing education system. And as someone who works with all of our mayors here in the region, we know how important it is that we increase our educational attainment rate, our graduation rate. And as we see a pivot with many more minority students entering our K through 12 system, we need the teachers of tomorrow that want to lead in this profession. And so, again, what I would ask of the legislators, on the call today, along with the private sector, let's work together. We have a unique opportunity with this new economy initiative, which with ASU, the $46 million investment, the resources also for U of A and NAU that are needed. And I would ask too, the $3 to $5 million that's being asked for the applied research effort. You heard from the teams, the innovators and university partners that align with industry. That's our way through this innovation cycle. And the more we can put that kind of capital and matching capital to work with the Blockchain and Wearable Technology Institute enables us to advance this new intellectual property built by Arizonans. As much as I love dinging California, which we do all the time, and bringing their IP here and their job centers here, I'm really proud that we've built really strong ingenuity here in our state, and let's continue to invest in that, and let's export this talent and ideas, outside the state and outside the country. So just to finalize, because I know we're about to close here today, is I do believe that I'm on the front lines with Sandra Watson and our city economic developers every day. And we're talking to companies every single day. And these kind of investments, they're watching what our state's doing relative to Texas and Utah and Colorado, and they're measuring what kind of future we're building. And so again, applied research, engineering, STEM capacity, that's what this conversation is all about. And I'd appreciate those legislators on the line to support this initiative, because we think emphatically not doing this is extraordinarily harmful. Doing this allows us to zoom ahead of a lot of these other markets that we're competing with. So with that, thanks for the opportunity to close today. Mia, I'll kick it back to you. And thanks for all the participants that are so encouraged to see this innovation economy evolve.